All right. In this video, I'm going to share with you a habit that our Indians have and practice, which I seriously, highly recommend you should stop. Okay. I don't know whether it comes from an Indian culture, Indian tradition, Indian heritage. I don't know what it is, but generally it's our Indians who do this a lot more. I, I'm not aware of Pakistanis and Afghanis, they do this, but I definitely know Indians do this. And you should seriously stop if you're doing it. And that is the habit of hugging and kissing children who are not yours. It's like you're going to someone else's child, or you see a child somewhere and the child is cute, or the child is beautiful, or the child looks attractive or innocent, and you go and hug the child, or you touch the child, or in some worst cases, like they actually kiss the child. I mean, uh, you'll be very surprised to know this, but there are people who have actually commented below some of my daughter's videos. Men, we are talking of men. Ladies also do that, but men, Loy, I want to kiss your baby. Loy, I want to hug your baby. Loy, I'm going to come visit you and take your baby, and she will spend time with me. Now, I understand that you are stating this out of a very harmless intention, but this is not cute. It's not a laughing matter. It's not silly. It is very serious, and it is something that you need to stop. Because what our Indians fail to understand is in today's international, today's social media networked world, as you call it, it's become a very small place. There are a lot of cultures, a lot of traditions, a lot of countries where this is considered to be the behavior of a pedophile, individual who enjoys having sex with the underage individuals, okay, or children. But I will tell you this much: not every Indian or anybody, but since my target audience is Indian, I'm saying Indian. Not every Indian does this out of good intention or a pure heart. Um, I have I think this was in Dubai. I was with my clients and we were going for a day out, spending a day out. We went and had food. And this actually happened. We were there where this guy was cutting a shawarma or a kebab, as you call it. Some people call it kebab. So it was chicken shawarma. And he was cutting the chicken shawarma. And we had ordered two or three of them. So we were just standing there. My clients were talking to me, and this guy was cutting the chicken shawarma. He was waiting for it to kind of cook or fry. And my client had one boy, one girl. Okay, and he is Malayali, South Indian, and the guy who was cutting it was also Malayali, Muslim. Okay, so we are standing there, we were talking. All of a sudden, I turn around and I see this guy was cutting the shawarma. All of a sudden, he's no longer cutting the sandwich. He's waiting for it to fry or cook. But now he has knelt down to that boy who I think 8 or 9. He was slightly tall. So he was kneeling down and he cupped his hands. He held his face like this and he was talking to him. And this boy was, he doesn't know what to do. So then immediately I turned my head and I saw what was happening. And I asked the father, what's happening here? So he said, I don't know. He just said, I don't know. I asked him, do you know this man? He said, no, I don't know. Why are you allowing him to touch? He said, I just saw it. I said, what do you mean you just saw it? Immediately I went to this guy and I pushed him. I actually pushed him. He said, don't touch him. And I shouted. Then he was like, hey, kya? Like he was talking in Hindi. Kya? And I was, which I normally don't do, but I was screaming at him. Why the hell did you touch the child? And he's saying, he was a new guy. I think he was a new staff. So he's saying, what is your problem? Like in Hindi, क्या प्रॉब्लम है आप क्यों इतना चिल्लाता है blah, blah, blah. So I told call the police and all that. By the time the owner of the cafeteria, who knew me very well because I had a gym that was running, those days I was running the gym, this was in Sarja. So this guy came, oh, sorry, kya ho gaya? First he asked what happened, and then when he came to know, he said, sorry sir, sorry. पुलिस को मत बुलाओ, ये नया आदमी है, मैं समझाएगा इसको. Means he's a new guy, I'll make him understand. Sorry, he kept saying. Finally, we took it. And see, you might think I overreacted, okay? But let me tell you, I have been personally molested and raped by my own uncle. I was sexually molested multiple times by barbers, and it's not limited to only Indians. Pakistani barbers, when they are cutting, they suddenly slip their hand down there and they start, fondling you in your private parts. Oh, you want to cut hair down there? I've had. This is something I'm lucky that I didn't get kidnapped when I was, I think, 10 or 12 or 13 years old. When I was walking towards the church, my parents would never take me anywhere out. So I had to go walking anywhere. The church had a lot of guys, girls. I would enjoy my time there. So they would tell me to walk by myself. I would walk in the sun of Dubai, which is nearly 45 degrees heat in the afternoon at around 11 or 12 and come walking back by myself, almost 3 kilometers, I think. Yeah. So one African guy stopped the car, said, I'll drop you. It was a straight road, and I should have used better judgment, but that time I sat in the car, and after I sat in the car, he was like, do you want to, he was asking me, do you want to fuck? And he was touching me down there. I said, no, stop. I don't like all this. Okay, I'll leave you, brother. You're like my brother. And so I've experienced all this. And yes, there were shopkeepers when I would go and buy something. Like there was this magazine, children's magazine, Young Times. There was this another Keralite Malayali who, I know you might think that all Keralite Malayali Muslims are like this, but those days in UAE, especially Sharjah, the majority were Keralite Muslims because it was the Keralite Muslims who came to know about Dubai first. So this was another guy who was fondling and playing around. Like I went to pay money and this guy takes his hand and starts fondling my private parts. I didn't know what to do. I was young and my parents never supported me. My parents were not the people I could talk to. I didn't know how to handle it until I had to imagine no internet, no social media, no one to speak to. And I just decided I need to stand up for myself. So next time when he put his hand, I try to, break his finger. So then he stopped. But eventually I think he got caught by the cops because some parent complained and I think he was deported. Anyway, so I guess because of those memories, I'm very defensive where children are concerned, where a stranger touching a child is concerned. And I have made it a point to educate my wife that, I have this policy. No relative, no man or woman, relative, non-relative, anyone other than her mother and father, but in front of my eyes or my wife's eyes, can touch my child anywhere, can hug my child or kiss my child. And if hugging is maximum, but under our supervision, and we have trained our daughter that what is a good touch and what is not. You must have seen those videos, like a guy hugging you like this is okay, but a guy hugging you here and touching this, even lady, not allowed. If someone's like, give me a kiss here, and no. I've even trained my daughter when she sits down. Babies have a habit, they'll sit with their legs up and all that. So I made it a point to even tell my daughter, your dress is up, your underwear can be seen. Like she puts shorts. And I'll tell you, right from a very small age, I've told my wife that my daughter, like even changing her diaper and all that, I really didn't want to do it. I told her, she is naked. I know she's my child. I love my baby. I just don't want her, I just prefer that way. You might think that I'm very uncomfortable or this was traumatic. That is why I can't do it. When my wife gave birth to my baby, to our baby, and she was left alone in the ward. I'd taken the suite for her. There was some careless nurse who just left my wife and didn't bother, and she was hemorrhaging. It was a very bad delivery. She was really bleeding, and she had to change her that pad, and there was nobody, and she didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, so she had to change the pad. So I told my wife, "I'll clean it for you," and I actually did it. Huh? I actually did it. So much of blood. Oh my goodness, it was horrible. But I didn't find it disgusting. And suddenly the head nurse and the other nurses came in. They were shocked to see what I was doing. So they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Yeah, I'm doing your bloody job. You're supposed to do this." When I asked someone to come, nobody came. So I said, "If you don't take care of my wife, I'll take care of my wife." And they were very embarrassed. "Sorry, sorry, sorry, sorry. We have to take care. This is a lady's problem." I said, "Then do your job." So I don't feel ashamed, even if I have to clean my wife's poop, piss, this, that. She's my wife, and I have to take care of her. Even my child. It's not that. Even tomorrow, if my child becomes big, and I need to wash, clean my child, even if I see my child totally naked, I'm not going to feel anything sexual. This is my child, you know. But where that is a matter of life and death. But where it's something like, she's going to the shower, I've made it very clear, explained to my wife, tell her to cover herself. Even though nothing is developed, tell her to cover herself. So I know some of you might find it silly, some of you might find it stupid, but me as a father, with the experiences I've gone through, with how dirty some individuals are, given the shocking experience I went through, I don't want my child to go through all this. Okay, because I loved and trusted my uncle more than my life itself. I thought he was like a father figure to me until he did what he did multiple times. And one more thing, so that you know, there are many Indians who are pedophiles. Many Indians. It's not just Indians, it's all over the world. A lot of these Western tourists who come here to third world countries, they actually come to search for underage children. And you must have seen multiple news articles in India where they have even had sex with a newborn. I don't know how to say this, but newborn to the point where they have actually killed the baby having sex with the baby. Imagine a born baby. So I have no sympathy, no pity. I really wish, some of the Mexican cartels, the way they kill these, they slice, and the way they do that. I want such individuals to experience that. In Yemen, there is no court, nothing. If you are found guilty, they'll take you, handcuff you at the back, put you on the ground in front of everyone, just put 2, 3 bullets on your back. It's actually very forgiving, because they should live throughout the rest of their life and suffer. In fact, one of the best punishments, I think, which no country has adopted, is, cut it off. Just cut it off, both, and let them live their whole lives, named and shamed, and lived without these private parts which make them do such horrible things. I know it's their mind, but they should be taught a lesson. Anyway, like I was saying, Indians are there are plenty of such examples. In fact, there were even examples of, they did that with the iguana, they did that with the lizard. If you Google search on YouTube, donkey sex. In Colombia, if you want to be proved to be a man, young boys have to have a sex with donkey. I'm not joking. Google search and you'll find this. But where I'm talking of my child's safety, there are these videos which are so cringe and so horrible. You don't know whether the guy has good intentions, common sense, or bad intentions. There was the one that really stands out in my head is where this, I think, British or American couple, they're there with their daughter, okay, 2, 3 girls. One of them is very beautiful, very young. This Indian guy, they're in Mumbai, because you could see the gateway of India there. This guy comes with a rose, this grown-ass man who's maybe in his 20 plus. He comes and there is a phone. He's saying, someone is holding a phone while he is doing this act. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. And then he says, I like her. I love her. And the mother's like, what are you saying? And then he gives a rose and says, I love you. Actual, huh? And the mother's like kind of holding the child, like she's trying to understand because she's in a state of shock. Yeah, I love you, and can I take photo, please? And the mother was like, no, 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 I just want one photo. Okay, photo with you and you. And he takes a photo. It is so cringe and so disgusting. Oh, how can you do that with a kid? And that is why I find it very, I would not say amusing, but it's like, come on, man, use your bloody common sense. Uh, I love your baby. I love your baby. I want to kiss her the whole day. I want to hug her. Men, grown ass Indian men who are saying this, I know you'll say, oh, how do you know it's Indian? Maybe it's Pakistani. Listen, it's a grown ass man, okay? And for an Indian, mostly Indians, the majority who follow my content are Indians, okay? Very rarely, if a Muslim normally comments, it's always, may Allah Ta'ala bless you and your daughter is, that's how they go about. There is a very, very specific manner in which our Indians speak and communicate. And once you're online as long as me and deal with as many Indians as I've been dealing with, you would be able to spot them out. But anyway, this is not about, oh, Indians are, what is it? Indian commented or Indian didn't comment. The main purpose of this video is to tell you that grown ass Indian men, we are talking of men, we are not talking children. They look at someone else's child and they start talking like this. I want to kiss your baby. I want to hug your baby. I want to love your baby or whatever. And some guys even have the audacity to tell me, I'm going to come down here to your house and your baby is coming with me, Loy. You can't stop me. I love your baby. I understand the intentions are good, but I'm sorry, it sounds very creepy and very much like a pedophile, the attractiveness. And we know that these crimes are being committed globally. All right. So what I want to just leave you with, and by the way, one final thing which I do want to tell you is, you might laugh, you might think this is silly, you might think this is not happening. All you need is someone to take your photograph. All you need is someone to take a video of you doing it with someone else's child. In fact, even Jason Momoa, who is Aquaman, his own daughter, you can Google search this. He put his hand like this for his daughter. His daughter just brushed it off. Now, for me as a father, I could clearly make out that his daughter was in a pissed off mode and, she didn't want to be there because they were there at the premiere of a show. But one of the guys, he was from Brazil. How they found out, I'll tell you. But one of the keyboard warriors from Brazil said he's molesting his daughter. He sexually is fondling her breasts or something like that. Jason Momoa took it so seriously. He not only contacted the cyber security of New Zealand, they hunted this guy down. He paid like money to hackers, to people to find out who is he. He made sure that this guy was brought to task. Okay. So, yeah, maybe his intentions were good, but you're talking of someone, in the public limelight who's not hiding. Like David Beckham smooches his kid. Okay. He does it very openly. Now, some of you might find it disgusting. Some of you might find it shocking. But I strongly believe this. If you can have a relationship with your child publicly where you're not afraid, you don't have a twisted mind. But when you do it hidden within the four walls, then you know that someone is doing something wrong. Like, for example, I might kiss my baby on the lips. I know many fathers and daughters do that. I can do that. Maybe if I want to show off and see, I'm doing it with my baby. Okay, even if tomorrow she becomes, let's say, 20-year-old, 25-year-old, maybe she'll do it. Okay, I'm just saying. But there'll be nothing in the heart that is sexual. I'm not talking of lip locking and tongue, just a peck on the lip. There are many people who do that. In fact, I personally know some women who do that with their mothers and fathers. In fact, one of the UFC fighters, he does it with Dricus Duplessis. Okay, he does it with his coach. He considers him like a father figure. He being a guy, his coach being a guy. Now, I know some of you say, yuck, how can you do that? different cultures. But what I'm trying to make you understand here is I'm not justifying and say South African culture is good, British culture is good, Indian culture is bad. I'm just telling you that when you're talking of children, especially someone else's children, please be careful. Okay. I'll give you one final example. This actually happened. I don't want to give the details. I know this guy pretty personally. Not a client of mine, not a friend, but someone who I know personally. He saw this small little baby girl at his workplace. Okay, they are in the hospitality industry. And he just said, she's so beautiful. Like he held his hand and he just said, so beautiful. Like he was overwhelmed because his daughter is back home. And when he did that, unfortunately for him, it was being recorded on video and photo by the parents. They were just looking around, then they saw this and they recorded it. And no sooner than this was seen, they published it online and the groups which were common. And the tagline was, "This man touched my baby without my consent." That's all this mother had put. And she didn't mention pedophile, she didn't put anything. Well, guess what? He got branded as a pedophile, he got branded as a sexual predator. And he not only lost his job, he was asked to leave. They had a police case on him. He got deported, and I mean, I know that he is a good man and he didn't do it out of any bad intentions. But you see what happened. And ever since, nobody has been in touch with him. He's just vanished. So all I'm telling you, my dear Indians, my sincere message from my heart to you is if you are, maybe you're doing it out of good heart, but this is not acceptable in today's global society. And please do not touch other people's children. And I'm not saying you're pedophiles. I'm not saying you have bad intentions. Though I am cautioning you, there are a lot of people out there who act decent, just like my uncle, just like those people who did those horrific things with me as a small little child. Don't take for granted your child's safety. And please, if you have children, please educate your child, communicate with your child. What is a good touch, bad touch, what should be allowed, not be allowed. And let your child consider you as a friend where your child can open up and share anything. Even a boy sitting next to the girl, my daughter, I'm very like a hawk. I pay attention. And finally, for those people who find this funny or there are people who have even joked and said, you deserve it. Very well. Fine. It's cool. I'm not going to feel hurt about it. But I just sincerely hope it doesn't happen to any other child. Okay? You might hate me. You might have difference of opinion with me. You might feel very happy that I went through it, or you might just saying it out of spite. I'm telling you, I'm 50-year-old, thick-skinned. It doesn't bother me. But I do care about the safety of other people's children, my children, your children, and these individuals who commit this horrific crime, especially being pedophiles. It is actually not only a genetic disorder, it's a personality disorder. These are very dangerous individuals, very, very dangerous. And we need to protect our children. So I hope this gives you some insight. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because there is an incident which a person has taken my consultation and advice. I can't mention what it is, but I request you, please don't take this for granted. Okay? Bottom line, single conclusion is, don't touch other people's children. That's it. Just keep your hands, your legs, your opinions to your own child. And for those of you who are commenting, I understand you're doing it out of good intentions, but remember, the world may not see it that way because there are actual things happening. So don't take a risk. Other people's children, keep away. Just don't touch. That's it. Good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.